week's gay animal, the humpback whale. I mean, obviously. I thought we should do something a little bit calmer today. I thought we'd try something a bit different. Because everything's a little bit stressful. Sometimes you just need a bit of a calming influence, which is something I've never been called. That mad bitch. That was one of them. I thought that we'd do something a little bit calming. A little something from my youth. It is the Scratch and Sketch Animal and Art Activity book. That is quite a long title. But, you know, in the 90s, we had nothing better to do. We had to do something while we were waiting for the modem to dial up. So, basically, before lockdown, back in the Wild West days, when you could just walk into shops, I picked this up. Little did I know that some mere weeks later, it might come in handy to stave off the voices. So this was a oldie special buy. Love an oldie special buy. Guess what came this morning? Cordless grass and hedge trimming shears. When did I become boring? So how are you guys coping? I tell you what I have resorted to. This is the recipe book from a diet plan, but not really diet, called Second Nature. Not an ad, but they are more than welcome to sponsor me. I've got nothing else going on right now. And I started this because, seriously, my isolation eating habits were out of control. Breakfast, Twix. Lunch, Twix. Dinner, Easter egg. I was looking at myself going, mate, you've got to rein that in, because by the time this lockdown ends, you could be 3 times the woman you currently are. So I've signed up to this. I've done it for just over a week. Some very tasty things. I might review it maybe when I'm a bit further into it. Oh, right. Someone left a comment on my last video that said that they really liked it and they wanted to be my friend. Then they deleted their YouTube account. I'm getting a complex. Let's do something nice and calming, shall we? I think I'll read you the little, because I haven't been reading any of the little blurbs that have been next to it, because it tells you a bit about the animal that you're drawing, because it's definitely for adults. I forgot I did that. I think I was too embarrassed to put my real age, so I just pretended I was 197. So basically, if I die and someone comes across this, they'll go, wow, she lived a good life. She was just finding a way to keep herself calm in her elderly, doddering years. So I lost my mind a little bit for this one. It's 2 blue whales. This one, I've given a moustache because he is Monsieur Whale, because I have entirely forgotten the French word for whale. That suggests I ever knew it. C'est la vie. And the other one, the baby, has got a heart-shaped tattoo. Sad when they start young, isn't it? Oh, shall I do it like ASMR-y? Blue whale calves are born weighing over 2 tons and measuring 7 meters in length. Baby whales, there was an exclamation mark. Measuring over 7 meters in length. Baby whales stay close to their mother for many years, only gathering in groups to feed on each other. Grim. I've been saving this one for you, right? Because this is that slightly deceptive chap on the front cover. Because I think the lines are too thin to be able to get away with doing what they've done, which is basically make the whole thing rainbow. So I think what we'll try to do, if we try to do alternate stripes first and see what happens. They keep the little scratchy thing attached to the book so idiots can't use it. Children can't use it. Handy for me though. Should we do the outline? Let's do the outline first. I just thought this would be nice. Make a nice little change. Nice, calm, scratching. Nice rainbow zebra. For some reason I think is a unicorn. But that is a failure on the part of my brain. I've dipped my voice like I think I'm doing ASMR. It's not ASMR. Do you listen to it, any ASMR? I was kind of obsessed with using it to fall asleep too. But the problem with it is that YouTube doesn't have quiet adverts. And in fairness, most of those people, I don't know how they're supporting themselves because they can't have ads in the middle of their YouTube video. Otherwise it would just be going, you're entering a nice, gentle sleep. Hi, I'm Barry Scott and this is Hit It Bang. I'm enjoying my new life of yoga pants. Jeans are just exhausting, aren't they? Oh, let me tell you a secret though about jeans. And this is for any gender, right? Any gender whatsoever. Buy men's jeans, or as I call them, men's jeans. I'll tell you for why. You can buy by waist size. Who would have thought, yeah? Some of you won't know this. But basically, if you ever shop for women's clothes, there is a existential nightmare that occurs. I mean, I'm glad this thing is attached to the book, but yeah, so you go shopping for quote unquote women's clothes. But clothes can't have a gender, so F the fashion industry, man. As you can tell, I am quite the fashionista. Where basically you have a size. Now these sizes, they go up in numbers, but they don't go up in numbers like you and I might think were numbers. 1, 2, 3, perhaps. No, they go up in twos. What's really nice, and it's a bit like a fun game. So say you've discovered that you're a size 14. What happens is you'll go into a shop, you'll try a pair of 14 jeans on, and they'll fit lovely. But then they've got a different leg length. They've got regular, they've got petite, they've got long. So what you'll find is you might be a 14 long in River Island, say. Is River Island still a thing? I don't know. I haven't been River Island since I was about 15. And then you'll go into another shop and suddenly you'll be a 16 and you'll be a petite. And it's not just jeans, right? It's all the clothes. You could be a 12, you could be a 14, you could be a 16, you could be an 18. It's just entirely dependent what shop you go into, because some of them like to flatter their customers. So maybe you're a 14, they might make you an 8. They go, oh look, don't you feel good about yourself because you're an 8? Lovely. Even though it's an entirely arbitrary number set by society, and your intrinsic internal worth is not measured by the size of your trousers. Unless they're clown trousers. But I hit a moment where, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I am divorced. I've got a real problem with the divorce, right? Because, let me finish this story before I go off track, because I always go off track. I hit a point where I just thought, do you know what? F it. I don't care what people think anymore. And I genuinely felt really awkward about it, because I took 2 pairs of men's jeans into the changing room. I also needed a smaller size because it's more accurate than women's clothing. I don't want to brag, I buzzed the assistant to ask if they could get me a smaller size. And I thought, the thing is, when you just pick them off the rack, you can pretend they're for like your husband or your boyfriend or something. But when you're actually in the changing room and you ask them for another size, clearly for you. But I'm sure they don't care. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why so much of my previous life has been so caught up in about what people think of me. But it has been. But yes, the problem that I have with the divorce is I make a lot of jokes about it, right? Because it was so horrendous. And that divorce was so miserable. Look, I've had a lot of counselling. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I highly recommend counselling. It's excellent. But because I'm fine with it, I take the mick out of it all the time. And the problem is, sometimes I forget that not everybody is on my page with that. So I make a joke about how terrible my ex-husband was. And people just go, oh. And they just stop talking. And you think, oh, sorry. I forgot that you weren't quite at the don't give a shit stage that I am. But you know, you only get my side of it, so I've got a great Ghostbusters story, but I don't, because I kind of want to write a song about Kate McKinnon. I don't know if I should save it for that right at the end of our relationship, when my ex-husband was still pretending that everything was fine. Spoiler, it wasn't fine. We went to go see Ghostbusters 2016 in the cinema, and I don't know why he went, to be honest, because I am like Ghostbusters mega fan. I have a flight suit. I built a proton pack out of cardboard that lights up and everything. And we went to go see Ghostbusters 2016 together. I don't know why he went. And I think it was because it was like, it was a story that he could tell later. So he could go, yeah, well, she was a right bitch to me, but I did take her to go see Ghostbusters. But yeah, Ghostbusters 2016 was a bit of a game changer for me. It was definitely the beginning of the end, because also, if you come out a bit later in life, they refer to, they have this thing that they call a catalyst, which is, who is the person that made you realise that you weren't straight in some way? Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon 3 times over. Easy. Because I was sat in that screening in my glow-in-the-dark Venkman top, which I obviously covered with a jacket because I'm not a monster and we're in the cinema. The second Venkman showed up on screen. Venkman, no Holtzman. See, Ghostbusters mega fan, can't tell them apart. As soon as Holtzman showed up on screen, sucking a milkshake, winking. There's a reason that's become a meme. You could feel it in the auditorium. Just every straight woman in the audience just ever so slightly shuffle away from their partner, because they needed to think about a few things. I think Holtzman did a lot for women. So I'll say this about 2016. I really like it. I'm such a Ghostbusters fan, and I really, really like it. I mean, the thing is, all the hate it gets is so unjustified. I'd say the worst bits about 2016 are when they're trying to factor in the old ones. Genuinely, and I never thought I'd say this about anything, the worst thing about Ghostbusters 2016 is Bill Murray. I hate his character. It just seems so unnecessary. I think it must come from a place where I get the impression that Bill Murray is kind of done with Ghostbusters. And I think he only wanted to do it if he could play like a skeptic. But it completely takes you out of it, because just like, you didn't hide away in the background of the first Ghostbusters. You were such a main part of it. Like, he's got so many iconic lines. And yet now I'm supposed to believe that he's this guy that hates Ghostbusters and doesn't believe in anything and thinks that they're frauds. It's really weird. And also, they don't really explain. So I bought the book that's in the movie, because of course I did. Ghosts of Our Past. And there's like a foreword in there from him. And it's only at that point that you realise that he's dead. And I don't know whether it was like to save their age rating or what, but it's not really mentioned that he's clearly dead. I mean, he went out of a window. The odds are pretty good. I will say, if you can, watch the extended cut of it, because I really like the theatrical release, but there are some minor plot holes in it. And there are plot holes in it because they've trimmed stuff for time. It's good though, it's really good. Holtzman! And I'll say this about some of the naysayers for 2016. You guys don't even like Ghostbusters 2, so shh. I'm no Ghostbusters fair weather friend. I'm all in, mate. I like Ghostbusters 2. I would go as far as to say Ghostbusters 2016 Answer the Call is better than Ghostbusters 2. If you disagree with me, you're a sexist. Just saying that to wind some people up. Shush. I tell you this, Paul Feig has given us some bloody good female characters in the last few years. Simple Favor. Most of them have been Melissa McCarthy, obviously. Or Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick also counts as a catalyst. My word. There is something about that woman. She just seems so, like, normal. She seems really, like, approachable and nice. I like people who are nice. Well, this is shaping up to be quite the gay zebra. I don't think we would have gotten away with doing every line, because it won't look like a zebra. The whole point of it being a zebra is that it has alternating colours. This whole, like, mindfulness stuff makes your brain go to weird places. I was like, shall I tell them about my dishwasher? Gosh, it's taken a while, isn't it? Jeez. It's looking very pretty though. Although the stripes are making my eyes go funny. I'm gonna add one in here because I've misjudged the stripes. No one will ever know. I can't see the watch time on this being particularly impressive. I reckon people will just skip to the end. Let's talk more movies. Shaun of the Dead is like my perfect movie. It's just like, because I wrote a thing on it for uni, because I'm a nerd. I did a replacement intro sequence for it, which was basically animated, but I'd filmed a bunch of students in front of a green screen, all pretending to be zombies, and then I'd made it so that they were completely silhouetted, and then they were walking across this, I don't know, colourful backdrop, looked a bit like a sunset, and then all the actors' names and things came up in a sort of comic font. One of my teachers was great, because he was a massive font nerd. I've worked with someone like that since, and I love a font nerd, because he was like, oh, come look at this, because I told him what I was up to, and he saw like some of it as it was being worked on, and he said, right, he said, you need like a comic book font. And I thought, oh my god, you're spot on, I do. So he went through and he basically had like 5 entire stacks of CDs, because back in those days we used physical media. Speaking of physical media, Birds of Prey is out on video on demand, as is Sonic the Hedgehog, my little friends. Just a PSA. I saw Sonic the Hedgehog was out, and I was like, having that. And then I also saw Birds of Prey was on pre-order for that Friday. I went, right, we're having both of them, my friends. Downloaded Sonic immediately, and then pre-ordered Birds of Prey. Sonic the Hedgehog had no business being as good as it was. Because we all remember Cursed Cat Sonic. Nightmare Fuel Sonic the Hedgehog. With his weird human teeth. That if you saw it in your shed like that guy did, you would smack it dead, wouldn't you? But it's so good. He's so likeable. I said the scariest thing for me when that film was being fixed was I can't remember his name, I follow him on Twitter. There's a guy who's like quite famous for doing Sonic art. And they brought him on to basically fix it. I said that I think the scariest thing for me, I've never heard of a scarier phrase than we've brought in this person to get Sonic back on model. How did it get so bad that he was off model? That's what I want to know. But he's got so much personality now, it's lovely. I will say, I might be alone in this because I've seen other people that completely disagree, but that, not my Robotnik. Sorry, way too normal looking. So many people think Jim Carrey totally stole it, but you know how he is at the end? Minor spoilers, I guess, but not really. At the end of the movie, Robotnik basically goes under a change where he looks like Robotnik. And all I can think is, why didn't he look like this for the whole movie? Because that's my Robotnik. That dude there, that's who I know. It's very weird. But yeah, Birds of Prey. Love Birds of Prey. I think for me, I got so bored of all these superhero movies where in every single one, for some reason, you have to have like a 15-minute fight scene 3 times during the movie. You can't get away with it, and unless they've got a bit of like comedic element to them, I can't get down with it. So like the Deadpool ones I find quite funny. Although, controversial opinion. As much as I like the first Deadpool movie, where it suffers for me is that it's an origin story. There's a reason why they had to open with that big action sequence where Deadpool was already Deadpool. Because the whole point of Deadpool is that he is as he is. You know, he's this total manic, third wall breaking lunatic. And then you go back to Wade, and you just think, oh, that's boring. But I did love all the stuff. When he was Deadpool, when it was all like, he went to the X-Men mansion and there was no one there, and he was like, oh, it's almost as though they wouldn't fund another X-Men movie. I am covered in scratchy dust. What shall we add to Monsieur Zebra to make him ridiculous? I should have given him scuba gear. That just looks like an arse. Okay, that's an arse. So tempted to just go. Beep. Beep. He's just surprised, that's all. I don't know, I feel like I worked really hard on this. I don't want to do it. I kind of want to give him a tash as well. I've got a thing about, should we give him all French moustaches? Could give him a berry. The problem is, because it's so scratched off already, there's not a lot you can do to it. Can I give him glasses? Should we try? I just end up f***ing it all up. Glasses. And a goatee. Oh yeah, let's give him a goatee. Which is going to look a little bit like he's eating grass. It's the reason why I dropped out of uni. Oh, the arson. I mean, that just looks like he's ripped the pants off somebody. Oh, I didn't read you the incredibly educational thing. Zebras nurse their foals for up to a year. Just like horses. Stripy horses, you heard it here first. Just like horses, zebras can stand and walk shortly after birth. Zebra foals are brown and white at birth, but their stripes change to the familiar black and white as they mature. Except for this one. They're not black and white. They are the gayest zebra around. I thought I could have gotten away with a gay flag. I would have done, but I don't think it's going to work. So that has taken way longer than I intended it to. That one looks quite interesting though. In terms of like internal lines, I feel like you could do a lot with that one. I'll tease you with what the giraffe fact is. Giraffe fact! Giraffe foals are usually born in the dry season and are 2 meters tall at birth. There's an exclamation mark, so I am a slave to the woods. What? The mother giraffe will keep her calf away from the rest of the herd for up to a month so it doesn't get trampled. Harsh! Super harsh. So I think we will leave this insane rambling here. Follow me wherever you want, but not to my house because it's creepy. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Jen Smith Comedy. Right here on YouTube, Renegade Master. I thought it would be funny to have a cool YouTube name so that people could find me easier. But what actually happens is if you type in Renegade Master into the search bar, YouTube defaults it to Renegade Master, and you have to physically click a button to say, no, I meant Renegade Master. It's not just that I have chubby hands, I can't hit the keyboard. Because with the amount of drinking I've been doing this isolation, that's certainly likely. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next one. Have a relaxing day. Bye.